It's the One Wish Willow, oh what a treat. A magic stick that can't be beat. One Wish Willow, wave it high. Make a wish beneath the sky.
You're watching Twisted Terrors. Now your host, Zomboy.
What is going on, horror fanatics? Zomboy here, and you're watching another episode of Twisted Terrors. On this episode, I am going to be talking about 2026's Obsession. This movie is directed by Curry Baker. It's rated R, comes in at an hour and 48 minutes long. IMDb has this one rated as an 8.1 out of 10. Letterboxd has it rated as a 4.1 out of 5. I'll read the plot. After breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. The tagline for this one is, "Be careful what you wish for." This movie stars Michael Johnston as Bear, Indy Navarrete as Nikki, Cooper Timlinson as Ian, and Megan Lawless as Sarah. Let's jump right in. This movie starts off, you meet this kind of awkward kid. His friends call him Bear. He is madly in love with one of his best friends, and the movie starts off with him in a diner practicing a speech with a girl that works at the diner of him expressing his love.
Maybe you should know that I would choose you over everything.
Oh, that's
No,
everything.
stop. Okay, that was cringy.
Oh my God, I knew it.
Way too much.
I'm so sorry.
I thought that was sweet.
I thought it was
That-
gross.
I
Okay,
should've-
this time I want you.
No, I'm not doing it again, dude. That was so embarrassing.
Yeah, that would freak it. That freaked me out.
And it is awkward and cringy, and his friend Ian tells him that was terrible. You shouldn't do this. Like, it's gonna ruin your friendship. This movie follows Bear as he's trying to get the courage to tell Nikki that he loves her, and of course he just can't do it. So in a store, he comes across a thing called a One Wish Willow, which grants one wish, and the wish is non-reversible. And of course he ends up buying one and wishes for Nikki's love.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the world.
Works immediately, and Nikki becomes enthralled with him. And starts acting very odd. It starts getting a little scary how much she loves Bear. And I'll leave that right there. From this point going on, this is going to be full of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. This is a good time to pause and come back and check out the video. So right away, you have Nikki. She's madly in love with Bear. She doesn't want to leave his side. Ends up going back to his place, and she loves the smell of his house.
It smells like you.
What do you mean? Does it smell bad?
No, just you. It's nice.
There's a scene where she starts to kiss Bear, and then she freaks out, and you realize she's kind of snapping in and out of the wish.
What the f? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
You kissed me!
I know, I thought I saw something.
What the f was that?
I don't know, I'm sorry.
And I love the two sides of Nikki, because Nikki's character she plays after the wish is completely different than her true personality. So she almost plays two characters in this movie, and I really enjoyed that. But she goes down an absolute rabbit hole of twistedness of how much she loves Bear. And at one point, he has to go to work. He goes out into the living room to leave, and she has duct taped the front door shut from the inside and tells him, well,
Make yourself it.
can't get the door open, I guess you can stay home with me.
Love you.
the door. Maybe you should just stay home.
No, I got it.
But, of course, he ends up getting it open and being able to go to work. And she does things in this movie that just gets crazier and crazier, and her love ramps up more and more to the point where he just can't leave the house anymore. And there's a scene where Ian's having a party and he wants Bear to come, but not Nikki, because Nikki's acting super weird. And of course, he brings Nikki anyways, and Nikki makes a big scene at the party because one of the party games they're playing is Bear has to kiss the person to the left of him, who happens to be their friend named Sarah. Sarah works for them at the same job. And Nikki goes over and forcibly moves Sarah away. So Bear kisses her. So at the party, she makes a pretty big scene. She ends up stabbing herself in the face while yelling, "It's not me." And of course, she's bleeding all over the place. So now Bear needs to rush her to the hospital. And when they get back, things are very awkward and she apologizes. Bear ends up telling her, "It's fine. I'm just gonna go sleep over at Ian's house and we just need a little bit of space." And she ends up saying, basically, if he's gonna go to Ian's and spend the night, she's just gonna off herself, and comes out with a big kitchen knife. So, of course, Bear ends up staying home. Bear gets a text in the middle of the night from Sarah saying she needs to tell him something and to meet her at the park. He ends up trying to slip out of bed quietly and goes to the park to meet Sarah. Sarah explains to him that something's going on with Nikki and she's acting weird, and that actually Ian and Nikki have been sleeping together for a while now as friends. And it's really weird because she thinks that she's sleeping with Bear to get back at Ian. And she wants to be a tattoo artist, and she's been getting rejected from every college. And she got her last college letter in the mail, and so she wanted Bear to be there while she opens it. And as she's about to open it, the window in the car breaks, and it's Nikki, and she ends up smashing her head in with a brick.
This is all your fault. Sarah's your fault. You wanted this. You wished for this. But baby, we can fix this. I'll fix this with you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
And it's a pretty good jump scare scene because you really don't see it coming, and it is brutal. And now Bear's stuck in the passenger seat of Sarah's car as she is a mangled mess, and one of her eyes are even coming out, and she's no longer with us. Then Nikki tells Bear that he needs to help her get rid of the body, and of course, a good boyfriend he does. Bear ends up going back to the store and buys more One Wish Willows and talks to the guy behind the counter.
Well, maybe, if someone else made a wish that contradicts your wish, I mean, maybe you could ask her. I mean, since it's for you, she just might do it. Or you could die. I mean, you could kill yourself. Yeah,
The only thing you can do is A, die, that ends the wish, or B, you can ask someone else to make a wish on your behalf. So he ends up taking the One Wish Willow over to Ian's place, and he's trying to explain everything to Ian, who doesn't believe him at all, ends up breaking the One Wish Willow and wishes for $1 billion.
I wish for $1 billion.
Money starts falling from the ceiling in his house. $1 billion. And now Bear's pissed because now Ian has wasted his wish. So luckily, Bear bought multiple One Wish Willows, so he ends up coming up with a plan where he's gonna go back and he's gonna ask Nikki to make a wish if she really loves him. So Bear ends up getting home and he walks in and he finds Sarah's body strapped to a chair. Not sure why, but Nikki has brought it home and is displaying it in the living room. What a power move there. Nikki is upset. They're having an argument again, and she starts to smash her own face in with a brick. That scene's brutal. And Ian ends up coming to the door, and Nikki pulls out a gun and shoots him to death. Bear ends up getting the gun from her, and he goes into the bathroom, locks himself in, and ends up putting it into his mouth. He's trying to off himself and ends up deciding he doesn't want to shoot himself. So he gets into the cabinet and finds some of his grandma's old pills and swallows an entire bottle. And he must have changed his mind because he starts to gag himself when you hear the sound of a snap outside the door, and he perks up and exits the door and goes over and kisses Nikki. And you realize Nikki has wished for his love back. So now he is out of control, but as they're kissing, the pills kick in and he starts foaming from the mouth. And they're on the couch and he dies. And she decides to take the gun and kill herself, but before she can, the wish ends because Bear died. And she snaps out of it and she's herself again. And she's crying. Look at the absolute carnage that is in front of her. And that is the end of the movie. I loved this movie. Everything about it. I love the details. There is scenes after the wish where he's talking to someone, and if you look in the background, it's just Nikki staring at him. She cannot take her eyes off him. It's the whole scene. Nikki's doing things in the background that are just absolutely amazing. He's sleeping. She stays up all night and just watches him sleep. I loved that. You find out his cat gets into grandma's pills at one point and cat dies. And there's some horrific scenes with this cat where he gets rid of the cat, but Nikki brings it back and makes a memorial in the house with flowers. And he gets upset. And you also find out Bear wants to be a food critic. And at one point he's eating his lunch at work that she made for him. And you find out I put a note in there asking, how's the cat? She fed the cat to him. So the cat scenes in this movie are disgusting and diabolical. And if you love cats, they're not going to be for you. But the scene where he duct tapes the door shut, I absolutely love that scene because he's trying to act like things aren't weird and he's trying to pry this door open. And then you get this amazing scene where he finally gets out the door and she just stands there with a smile on her face. And she doesn't move for the entire day. And at one point, you even see herself she pees her pants. By the time he gets home from work, after an entire day of work, she's still in the same spot with the same smile on, but she looks terrible. You can see that she's been having accidents in her pants. You could see at one point, it looks like she might have got sick and threw up all over herself, but she hasn't moved a centimeter. She wanted to be there when he got home, and I loved that detail as well. The gore in this movie is off the hook. The brick scene with Sarah is disgusting, and I loved it. I love seeing Nikki transform into this beautiful woman in the beginning to, by the end, her face is smashed, she's cut her face, she's bleeding all over, and yet she's got this big smile on her face, and I love seeing that. And the ending of this movie is so bleak, and I love they went that route, and I would love to see the outcome of after this movie, because it's not going to be good for Nikki. She's wasn't herself, but she has murdered someone, which there's evidence of. There's a dead bear, and the house is wrecked. Like, the police are going to investigate, and she's going to be going to jail for a long time. So I love the fact they decided to go with an unhappy ending, and it was, I thought, perfect. And one of the creepiest things about this movie is throughout the movie after his wish, you can tell that Nikki is still in there, and she has these tantrums where she kind of snaps out of it and freaks out and then snaps back in. And then eventually you start getting these things where she starts yelling, "It's not me." At one point when he's eating his lunch, he opens his lunch and there's a picture that she took of her smiling next to him while he's sleeping. On the bottom it says, "Not me." And then the creepiest part of this movie, at the very end, Nikki's finally sleeping, because in this movie, it seems like she never sleeps. She's always staring at Bear while he sleeps. Well, she goes to sleep, and you start hearing her voice saying to just, please kill me. Please kill me.
Kill me, please.
What?
She's sleeping. It's me.
You are you, Nikki.
Please don't wake her up. Just kill me, please.
So Nikki's in there, but she has no power over her own body. She's being completely overtaken by this wish, which is freaky that she's speaking for Bear to be able to go on and just act like everything's okay while Nikki's in there absolutely suffering and experiencing everything going on, but just can't control it. And that is true horror right there. So on this, I'm just gonna say I love the entire movie. You know, it's an hour and 48 minutes long. Even if it was a little bit longer, I'd have been okay because I wasn't bored. And for dislikes on this one, I couldn't find any. I was there for the ride. I loved the characters. I loved the acting. I loved the music in this movie. Everything about this movie I thought was perfect. It was so well shot, which is amazing because Curry Baker, he's only 26 years old. Obsession is his first movie, and you might know him best for his YouTube channel called That's a Bad Idea. He's a YouTuber. And the concept for this movie came from The Simpsons, The Treehouse of Horrors 2, with an episode featuring a cursed monkey's paw, and then he just reimagined it with a different object.
Sir, I must strongly advise you to not purchase this. Behind every wish lurks grave misfortune.
This entire movie was shot in just 26 days for a budget of $750,000, and it later sold to Focus Features for $15 million after a bidding war with A24 and Neon. But it grossed $224 million worldwide, which is a record-breaking return for a horror debut. I mean, the turnaround on this was spectacular. So I highly recommend this one. If you haven't seen it, this is an absolute fun, disgusting, twisted that I think was shot perfectly. 2026 so far, an absolute amazing year for horror. I think I have more films this year rated, you know, closer to the 5-star area than any other year that I've done. And I think on this one, on my letterbox, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And I think that was well earned. I was entertained throughout the entire thing. I was never bored. I watched this a second time before I did this video. I enjoyed it just as much the second time. This is one that I'm going to be adding to my list of movies that I want to watch more often. I can't see it getting boring at all. So the real watchability on this movie is really good as well, which I think is really important. So I highly recommend this. I say Zomboy says this is a buy. I'm going to add this one to my collection 100%, and I would love to hear what you thought about it. Put it down in the comments down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you in the middle? Myself, I ended up staying away from the previews on this movie, and so when it first came out, the hype was through the roof, and that scared me a little bit because I knew I was going to try to go in with high expectations, and I'd probably come out the other side not as excited, but that was not the truth. I found myself just smiling or my jaw on the ground with some of the scenes in this movie, and I just was there for the ride. So I cannot wait to see what this director does next. This is going to be one I will be jumping on board to check out his next one as well, just because this one impressed me so much. So this is Zomboy saying thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me to talk horror, because you all know I love to do that very much. So I will see you on the next video. Keep it scary. Bye.